Oh yeah! This is the episode where we're going to go into all the pickups from the National as well as the most valuable card that I currently own that came from that show. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all the collectibles friends out there in the universe. Thank you very much for joining me again for another video today. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. We are in the middle of the week. We're scooting to the weekend. Let's get there, guys. Let's get to this weekend. I'm already ready for it. But I've been excited to make this video because there was a lot of just cool, it brought back memories from the show. I'm still reeling from this thing, absolutely reeling from this show. It was such an amazing experience. I know I keep saying it, but it's just reality. So first, what I want to do is go through some of the cards that were given to me, and then I'm going to go through cards that I bought, kind of thought process behind it, how it went down, et cetera, et cetera. First, though, before I get into it, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the likes, karate chop the notification bell is what my kids always say. So if you could give me a little bit of something, I would appreciate it very much. The YouTube algorithm, it's a beast. But we're going to win. We've got to win this thing. So please help me out on that front, and I would appreciate it very much. All right, the first cards we're going to look at actually came from Yamwax. So this is Corey Yamwax. A lot of people know him. He's got a great Instagram account. He collects a lot of scarce kind of, I don't want to call them odd cards, but it's just the different types of stuff. He's not necessarily looking for, base cards, although he's got base cards too, but he finds some really, really interesting niche cards that you might not have even knew existed. And he did. He gave me, he sent me a package last week, couple weeks ago. So I had the package, and then I see him at the show, and he's got Snoop Dogg stickers that he's handing out to me and some of the other guys. Saul Goodman card, and this was actually right when this guy went to the hospital. Fortunately, he's okay. And then a couple of LeBron James rookie cards, Upper Deck rookie cards. So thanks, Yam. It was great meeting you in person. It was fun running into a lot of these people, but Yam's one of those guys that he's probably one of the more generous people in the hobby and just a fantastic hobbyist. So thanks very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Michael Ham of the YouTube channel, Michael Ham Fishing and Sports Card Hobbyist. He showed up. The first thing he said, he's like, hey, good to meet you. And then he hands me Saints cards. Cesar Ruiz, this was our first round draft pick last year. I love these select die cut cards. They're cool. And this one's gold to go with the black and gold. Just a sweet card. It's numbered out of 10. And that could be our starting center this year. We will see. And then a couple of really cool Chimera cards, a Mosaic Insert Overdrive. And then Illuminance. I believe this is Illuminance, numbered out of 399. But just awesome that he was thinking of me, especially as a diehard Bucks fan. This is a Bucks fan that brought me Saints cards. So thanks very much, Michael. I appreciate it. And then he also ended up, we were going to split this, the 89 Pro Set box that we broke. That's a couple videos ago. Go check that out if you want to see an 89 Pro Set box being ripped. But we were going to split that. It was a $60 box. And he ended up saying like, no, man, I've got it. And he let me keep the cards. So, we got a couple of Barry Sanders rookie cards and a couple of Aikman rookie cards to go along with, a bunch of other stuff. So that was just really generous, too much really. So it was cool to see him in person, get to know him better because, I haven't, of course, we've gone back and forth in the chat, et cetera, on live streams and stuff. But then you meet someone face to face, you kind of get to know them better. And we did spend quite a bit of time with Mike. So good to see you, buddy. And I'm glad he lives in Tampa. I have family in Tampa. We're down in Tampa fairly often, so I hope to get up with him. Maybe we can go on a fishing charter or something. Dr. Steven, I ran into him at the show, and he whips out, you talk about the nostalgia stuff, Ninja Turtle card packs from probably 1990, 1991, and then a pack of Beavis and Butthead cards, as well as some loose Beavis and Butthead cards as well. These are like the ultimate nostalgia things for me, going back to the early 90s. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad we connected on Instagram, and we're going back and forth. He's also a graded video game collector, a comic book person, so it's cool to talk to him about all sorts of different things. Shout out to Ray. So Ray, literally, we are walking in the convention center where there's a huge autograph pavilion there. And actually, that's another part of the national show that I told my wife, like in the future, this is something that I would like to to partake in. Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith were there, which I think is kind of ironic. The two running backs that were kind of battling it out for records, yards, touchdowns, etc. Of course, Emmitt played a lot longer than Barry, and so that's why he has the stats. But Barry Sanders, I would have loved to actually meet him in person and get an autograph. I'm not like a fanboy of a lot of different people, but Barry Sanders is one of those guys that would be incredible to just be standing in front of. So moving forward, that will be something I look to do. If there's an athlete like that that's doing autographs, probably try to get an autograph face to face. Okay, so as we're walking by the line that goes around, there's a long line to get to all the autographs. A guy yells at me and he's like, hey man, hey, I brought something for you. And it was Ray. I hope that you're watching this, Ray. But he whips out 86 Topps Saints rookie cards, including the Raging Cajun, Bobby Hebert, and a PSA 8. I was like, this guy actually brought cards just in case he ran into me to give me these cards. I thought that was absolute insane and just unbelievably just generous. So thank you very much, Ray. I appreciate it so much, man. I feel terrible because I was stopped by a guy that gave me a Dalton Hilliard autograph card, just the nicest guy in the world. We took a picture together. It was great to catch up with you. I didn't get your name written down. And so unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't remember, but you know who you are if you're watching. I appreciate so much this Dalton Hilliard autograph card. Dalton Hilliard was the man, our main running back when we had the Dome Patrol and Bobby Hebert, etc. Dalton Hilliard was shifty. He was really, really good. So thanks so much, man. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Armin. So Armin walks up and he has Pelican case with him, and he opens it up and he's showing me all these different cards. He had some incredible cards, some massive cards in his collection. And he brought me a exquisite Brees from 2007, and it's quad patch. Just an awesome card. It's numbered out of 75, I believe. Yeah, numbered out of 75. And he gave it to me. It was just a very, very nice gesture. Thank you so much, Armin. It was great meeting you in person. I'm glad that you enjoyed the channel. I really, really appreciate it, man. This is so cool. Shout out to a young collector, Landon. There was a couple of young collectors, but Landon had come up to our table at Card Collector 2, Ryan's trade night, and wanted to say hello. So thank you very much for stopping by, man. Stay collecting. It's an awesome hobby, and it was great meeting you. Huge shout out to Cody from Cody's Community Collectibles. He was sitting at our trade night table, just the nicest guy. He actually had this amazing, I think it was National Treasures, but it was 2018 football class, and it was basically, it was amazing. It was in like this giant case, and it had all the main rookies on it. And they were little, it was almost like mini cards with little patches, and Baker Mayfield was in there and Darnold and all the, all the rookies, all the main rookies. And it was this huge thing. And I thought that it was awesome. And he offered it at a great price. I was kind of waffling on it, and he ended up selling it to Jeff Wilson of Sports Card Investor. Jeff Wilson bought it off of him. He went up. So Jeff basically was on the stage saying like, hey, if there's anything you want to trade, you want to talk about selling, buying, etc., come visit me on the stage. And he took it up there, and Jeff ended up buying it from him. So I was like, dang it, I missed out on an opportunity, because it was one of a kind, this thing. It was really, really cool. It was numbered. I can't remember what it was numbered out of, but it wasn't numbered out of 1,000 or anything. It was just a really neat, unique piece. Cody, it was great meeting you. He did give me a great deal on a Reggie Jackson, and this one, what was this? Topps? Yeah, Tier 1 relic. It's a Reggie Jackson auto card. Gave me a great price on it, numbered out of 15. And I thought it was cool just having a Reggie Jackson autograph. This is just one that I don't, and look, I'm not a huge baseball card collector, so maybe there are lots of Reggie Jackson opportunities, but I don't see them. And the opportunity was there. The price was, he gave me a really, really fair price. And so I wanted to pick that up just to say I have a Reggie Jackson autograph. And then there's a kind of a cool patch. And he made a good point that it's fairly limited to have Angels stuff. So like the Angels patch kind of makes it somewhat unique. So I thought that was really cool. Cody, it was awesome meeting you, man. I appreciate you supporting the channel. All right, next up. So this next card was one that I picked up. I told the story in another video. There was a father-son combo to where they were actually sitting with us at trade night, at Ryan Card Collectors 2 trade night. But then these guys were also set up at a table at the Lowe's Hotel. So we had talked about this, in previous videos, where you have, and you've probably heard this on a lot of national content, where you had the show, of course, that was massive, but then you also had a massive show outside of the show at the hotels, the trade nights and all the kind of the pop-up shows, the mini shows that were happening at the hotels. And the Lowe's Hotel was at Friday night was bonkers, to the point to where Saturday they kicked everybody out of the lobby because there was so many people everywhere, which just moved it on Saturday to more of the back of the hotel. It was nuts. But so I ran into this father-son duo. I was going through their stuff. They had some really great stuff, but they had the son had this Joe Namath, was it 69 tops, Joe Namath in a SGC 2.5. And I was like, just wondering kind of what are you looking for it? And he was looking for $35. And I mean, cost of grading at this point is about $35. And so I thought that it actually looked really good. I mean, the coloring on it is really nice. For this one, and I don't own any Joe Namath cards. So I thought, you know what, this is such a great price point to get a graded, vintage football card of one of the all-time greats. So I picked that one up. But that was very cool seeing the father-son duo. And because the father let the son kind of do the negotiating, he didn't, the son kind of looked over a little bit, and the dad was kind of like, you're doing your thing, and he fought me on the price too. I tried to talk him down a little bit, and he was like, nope, that's my price. He didn't budge off of it, and we ended up making a deal, but it was just, that was a cool element to the show, that father-son combo. Okay, this was another card that I picked up off of, again, it was another young collector that was going around and at trade night and making deals. A lot of these guys a lot of the youth were in there kind of making deals. And I don't own any Joe Burrow rookie cards. So I picked up this SGC 9.5 at a great price, I thought. And it was a club level prism. And it's, of course, it's the silver version, so it's club level. So now this year you've got concourse, you've got premier, you've got club, and then you've got field levels. This is kind of that third row up, if you will. But I just thought it was a cool looking card. I love select products. I don't own a Joe Burrow card. I don't own any Joe Burrow rookie cards. And so, I thought, hey, I want to make a deal with this guy. He's out here hustling, and it was cool. I mean, all right, another target of mine at this show, and I kind of struggled with this because there was a lot of options, but not every option was created the same. So I was looking for a Larry Bird auto card, okay? Nothing, in particular, meaning like not a particular set or anything like that. I really do like the flawless on-card autos, and in general, just a nice on-card auto. I almost picked up a Leaf. I almost picked up a Leaf card that it was a patch card, and it had Kevin Garnett and Larry Bird's autograph on it. Almost picked that up. I might still go back and see if I can pick that up from the dealer. Might reach out to him, just to his shop. I think they're in Massachusetts, and just see if I can get that card down the line, because it was about the same price. I ended up getting this one just because it was unique. So it's Exquisite 2011, I believe. But it's like a shadow box, where it's like a signed shadow box. I just thought it was really interesting. I like the Indiana State stuff. So of course I like the Boston Celtics stuff too. But, Larry Bird, for me, there's just something, of course, he's a legendary basketball player, but if you don't know where he came from, his upbringing, it's extremely inspirational to me, just in the sense that his childhood was fairly rough. And then also his father ended his life when he was, I think, a senior in high school. I can't imagine being, a junior, senior in high school. And I don't think he was in college yet. I think he was a junior, senior in high school. And, that happens to your dad. And then you have to carry on and go on to have, not only a great pro career, but an amazing college career. And there was some ups and downs to where he almost didn't play college basketball. He almost quit. And then he ended up, obviously going on and doing his greatness. But that's a great biography. If you just want something to read, something motivational, inspirational, get Larry Bird's biography and read that, because, it just, again, offers perspective. And I think that that's something we talk about in this channel. Having a bad day, having a bad week, gain perspective. There's always someone that's having it worse than you. There's always going to be someone that's doing better than you and someone that's having it worse than you. So, gaining perspective, and that his story is very, very motivational for me. And so Larry Bird, not only one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but I just really respect the adversity that he had to get through to get to where he was. There's a lot to be said for that. I respect that tremendously. All right, the next one is one that almost didn't happen, or it might have happened at a higher price if my wife did not catch a crucial element to this particular card. So this is a 2001 SPX Drew Brees rookie card, patch auto, and it's numbered out of 250. So I was looking at this card, and the last raw sale, it's not graded, obviously. The last raw sale was around $500, and I was looking at it, and there's a little bit of surface stuff, but I actually just thought that that was part of the card design. And of course, I'm showing it to my wife, and she's like, "Hey, what is this? You know, what is all this stuff? It doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it should be there." And I was like, "Oh, no, that's just part of the card design." But then I was like, well, maybe we should look one up on eBay. Let's see what does it look like on eBay? We look it up. It's not supposed to be there. It's surface damage. Okay. So I ended up paying considerably less, and the guy gave me a great deal. It was a dealer, but it was fair. It was fair for the dealer, and it was fair to us, but ended up getting it at a great price because of that surface damage. But if you know me, I'm a giant New Orleans Saints fan. So this was a no-brainer for me. It's a PC item. It's a patch auto rookie numbered out of 250. The graded copies that are, 9s and 10s are in the thousands of dollars. I don't know where this would come in. Maybe it's a 6 or a 7 or something like that. But again, this is just kind of a long-term hold for me. I just like I love the card. I think it's great. And I don't have a lot of Brees rookies. I do have another Upper Deck Edge, a Game Gear auto rookie that I had bought off of Flipping Steve months and months ago. But outside of that one, I've got, very few Brees stuff. And so I wanted to add this one. So my wife was there to kind of help navigate that deal. So that was helpful. And she, I think she was proud of herself too. She should have been. She saved us money and helped kind of make a good deal. And it helped, get a sale for the dealer, because actually I was looking at other stuff. The dealer actually, and he did an amazing job. The dealer had nothing that I wanted. He had a lot of baseball, modern baseball. And I was just kind of looking at it and he had one Peyton Manning, really, really nice, kind of at the bottom of his case, patch auto, like an exquisite, or a flawless or something. And I was like, hey, can I look at that card? And it was more than I wanted to pay, but it was a beautiful card. And so, he was like, oh, is Peyton Manning one of your guys? I was like, actually, Drew Brees. And he quickly maneuvered to this card. And I think he had just gotten it that day. He had gotten it in a trade. He had picked it up. So these dealers, they smart kind of figuring out what we're looking for, and made that deal happen. It was a good deal for us and a good deal for him. So good stuff. All right, I'm down to my last two cards, and this one, I actually had a smile on my face for a lot of the day. A lot of the weekend for this card. My weekend would have been totally fine without this card, without the last card that I got that I'm going to show in a minute, but just because of this card that I found. And I haven't taken the price sticker off yet just because it's actually on the case, so I want to be careful taking it off. And then also, if you know of kind of something to get kind of that sticky stuff off, you take the price tag off, it leaves a residue there on a PSA case. Let me know that, please, in the comments, because that's something I'm going to need to work on. It's probably not perfect. I might just have to go back and forth with the toothpick or something, but if you have any ideas. Anyway, I was looking for a vintage baseball card. If you were following kind of leading up to the National, specifically a 55 Bowman Willie Mays, that TV looking, kind of the oak outside, and then you've got the TV card in the middle, and it's just a great looking card. I love the design, and it was kind of within my price point, like a PSA 4. And so I'm at this table, and they didn't have that card, but what they did have that I was looking at, and I was like, man, it's more than I want to pay, but it's just an unbelievable card. It was a 52 Bowman Mantle and an SGC 1. And again, it's a 1, so it's it's not going to be an amazing shape. But this one actually looked pretty good. Yes, it's got kind of rounded corners, but I mean, the coloring and everything looked really, really nice on it. Of course, it's not going to be mint by any stretch, but I seeing that card in person, that's a card that I'm going to own at some point. It's the 52 Bowman Mantle, and I kind of felt like, and it almost looks like a sticker. It's a small card, a small kind of square card. And with the popularity of that 52 Topps, I felt like the 52 Bowman was kind of a no-brainer in the sense that downside, loss, it was fairly low. And so they had it listed at $1,500, and I was going to try to make an offer at $1,000 with them. And then I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, man, and I'm looking at their case, and this card popped up in their case. Johnny Unitas rookie card and a PSA 4. Was not expecting to get this card, was not hunting for it. It was a card on the wish list, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily thinking I'll pick this up. I actually don't really see, I think there's about 2,000 of these total graded, period. And vintage football cards, I mean, if you look at vintage football, there's really like a dozen important cards. If we're talking about kind of the main sets that people are aware of, and the Unitas rookie card is up there with like a Jim Brown rookie card, Walter Payton, some of these like vintage football cards, Bart Starr rookie card, etc., but doesn't necessarily get the same love as baseball, basketball vintage does. But, this one, it was listed at $700. We did end up making a deal at $600. And the recent comps were about $700, $750. So it was I felt it was good for the dealer, and it was good for me as well. But I did have Jeremy at Sportcards Live. He's got his his heavy duty, kind of like the flashlight that really, gets a good look at the card. He looked over it and thought that it was a really good looking 4. Because I didn't have magnifying glass or any of that stuff. So I kind of bought it just looking at it, and I thought it looked really good. The coloring and everything, I thought it looked good. But he took a look at it as someone that has looked at a zillion cards under a microscope and said this was a really good example of this 4. So I felt really good about that. It was a good price point, and I'm just excited that I own a Johnny Unitas rookie card. I have a Jim Brown rookie card and a PSA 3, and now I've got a Unitas and a 4, and I just look at it and smile. This is like one of those cards you just look at it and it's like, well, and then Johnny's smiling back at you. It's a badass card, y'all. It's an awesome, awesome card. And I will say, if you're not into vintage, when you really dig into the historical significance of some of these, and you look back at the history of the NFL or the history of Major League Baseball or the NBA, that's what kind of gets the fire burning on these types of cards, because these are the guys that paved the way for all of the guys that we've got today. So it's just incredible. All right, the last card, and the one that I'm most excited about, although I would say the Unitas rookie is probably almost tied with this one, but this one was, I just feel good looking at it. Like, this is one, if I'm ever having just a bad day, I'm just going to just pull this out and just stare at it for a while. So this is a card that I got in the Lowe's hotel lobby with the swarm of people on a Friday night. They had everything kind of set up. Everybody's got their little tables set up. They got couches. They're setting up their cards on, whatever. I'm walking around with flipping Steve, and he's looking around. And he's like, "Hey, did you see that Brees?" And I looked down at it, and I was like, you know what? It's flawless auto. I don't think it's that rare. I don't think it's that scarce. I think it's numbered out of 100, maybe a couple hundred, and there's multiple years probably of flawless autos for Brees. So I was like, I'll ask him what he's looking at, how much he wants for it. And he says $1,500. So I was like, $1,500? That seems high for that. Why? And I asked him, like, how come you're looking for $1,500? Is there something special about it? And so what it is the flawless Brees 100 years, but instead of it, so there's this card exists on its own, and it's numbered out of 5, 10, 15, and there are different price points based on the numbering. There's a green parallel numbered out of 5, etc. This one is a one-of-one black box. So this came in one of the Panini black boxes at the show, and this guy had waited 3 hours in line to get one of these black boxes. And this was the card that he pulled, and he likes Brees, but he's not necessarily a big Brees fan, so it was expendable. But he paid a lot to get into this, is kind of how he shared it. And I looked at comps on the ones that were at 5, 10, 15, and it looks like this card was right in kind of that $1,000 to $1,500 range. So we kind of haggled back and forth a little bit, and was able to pick it up. I'm glad Steve saw it, found it, and because it's the only one-of-one card that I own, and then it's of basically our hero, for the Saints, Drew Brees. It's a great on-card auto, beautiful card. Definitely gives me appreciation. And then of course it is sealed Panini. It's in that sealed case. So just excited to kind of put that in that's the long-term PC stuff that I love. But that was one that was just really exciting to pick up and kind of make happen when I wasn't expecting it necessarily. I wasn't expecting it to happen. So that was it, guys. I mean, those were my pickups. I'm really, really happy and excited about the show in general. My wife had a really good time. She was excited. I said in my other video, she was helping me make deals. She had more fun than I think she thought she was going to have, and it was just a great overall experience. As I said, next time I think that I'll just try to have more funds, not because necessarily, again, we're going to get amazing deals at the National Card Show, but what you will have there is extreme variety. A lot of cards that you've never seen before, you will see there, and so it's just having the availability to be able to go after them if you want to or not. That was one takeaway that I had from the show. So guys, thank you very much for watching this. I hope that if you did go to the show that that you had an amazing time. Or if you didn't go to the show and you were buying cards elsewhere and doing your thing, I hope that it was a great weekend regardless, however it went. Guys, have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.